Today is the 4th of July, 2026, and America turns 250 years old. But in the life of a civilization, we're still like a baby country. You know, I've been fortunate enough to travel a lot of the world. I've seen about a quarter of the countries on earth, and I've lived abroad a few times. I come from an international family. My mother was an immigrant. And I've spent a lot of time thinking about how different societies organize themselves. And after looking around the world, I can honestly say that I'm grateful to be an American. Not because I think America is the best or perfect, but because America is one of the most interesting experiments in human history. The American experiment. Unlike many nations, America wasn't founded on a single ethnic group or language or ancestral lineage. This land was first home to Native Americans, whose history deserves to be remembered with honesty and respect. The America that followed became something unusual, a nation continually shaped by people arriving from somewhere else, or a country built from immigrants. And that diversity is not a weakness. I think it's our greatest strength. We've got different histories, different cultures, different ways of thinking, different foods, different languages, different dreams, different stories. If you walk around any major American city, you might hear Spanish being spoken, or Chinese, Korean, Arabic, Hindi, Vietnamese, French, dozens of languages. And you could experience cultures, cuisines, traditions, music, and ideas from nearly every corner of the globe here in America, which is pretty cool. Few places on earth bring so much diversity together in one place. But diversity alone isn't enough. Freedom alone isn't enough. Individuality alone isn't enough. Our greatest challenge has never been becoming diverse. We are diverse. It's been learning how to become unified without becoming uniform. How do millions of unique people remain themselves while building something larger together? That's a question I've spent years thinking about, and it's one of the reasons that I'm so passionate about polymathy as a human phenomenon. To me, polymathy isn't just about learning many subjects. It's about becoming a more complete human being. It's about discovering your own unique combination of experiences and talents and interests and perspectives, expressing your onlyness. No one has lived your exact life. No one sees the world exactly through your lens, through your unique zigzag combination. When we develop ourselves fully and broadly, we can become harder to divide into narrower boxes. When we can speak multiple intellectual languages, when we can build bridges between disciplines and communities and people who might not otherwise understand one another, we don't have to choose between being individuals and belonging. We can do both. We can have both. America, in many ways, is trying to do that same thing. We're still learning, we're still growing, we're still figuring out how to balance freedom with responsibility, diversity with unity, innovation with wisdom. We've accomplished extraordinary things here in America, and we've made profound mistakes too. Sometimes we've been a beacon of possibility across the world, and other times we've been a warning of what not to do. We've pursued wealth while neglecting well-being. We've optimized for growth while overlooking human flourishing. We've built remarkable systems that now struggle under the weight of a world they were never designed to navigate. The Constitution was written in an era where information traveled at the speed of a horse, and today information travels at the speed of light. Artificial intelligence and robotics, biotechnology, and global networks are transforming nearly every aspect of human life. The world has changed drastically in the last 250 years. So perhaps it's time for some of our systems to evolve, don't you think? Not because the original founding fathers were wrong, but because every generation has the responsibility to ask, how do we better fulfill those original ideals under the new conditions we're now facing? I spent 15 years working inside America's federal government myself, And since leaving federal service, I have continued trying to contribute from the outside through research, education, criminal justice reform work, leadership development programs, and my education reform work now with the human intelligence movement. I still think public service is really important, and I still believe democracy can improve. I believe that intelligence and ethics belong together. But most importantly, I haven't given up on America. I believe that this country still has enormous potential, not because we're finished, but precisely because we're not finished. We're only 250 years into an ongoing experiment, the American experiment. An experiment in self-governance, an experiment in liberty, an experiment in diversity, an experiment in what becomes possible when people from every imaginable background choose to build something together. So today, on America's 250th birthday, I don't just celebrate where we've been or what we are even. I celebrate what we might still become. So happy birthday, America. Our story is not over, and in many ways, we're just getting started.